Good morning.
Good morning.
We're having a look at the French papers more particularly. Clearly, the French president getting an awful lot of attention. We've been talking in the news about the publication, the announcement of his manifesto, a letter to the French people, no less.
Absolutely. And according to, we're going to start by looking at 20 Minutes, and they say that it's very familiar, un air de déjà vu. It's, according to 20 Minutes, of the 32 proposals he put forward yesterday, there was only one new one, and that was that pensions will be paid on the 1st of the month and no longer the 8th of the month. And according to 20 Minutes, what Sarkozy really did yesterday was bash his main rival, socialist François Hollande. Now, Sarkozy is also on the cover of Le Parisien, which says that it looks at Sarkozy's project à la loupe with a magnifying glass. And according to an article in Le Parisien, it says that Sarkozy's entourage initially said that he had promised a surprise, but no dice. They also say that his program is very familiar to everything we've been hearing him say for the last 5 years. And they say that 17 days before the presidential election, Sarkozy wasn't trying to surprise people. What he was trying to do was reaffirm his determination. And it points out that his tone was very solemn, very pugnacious. And it says that one thing is clear, that he's trying to attract retirees, and that is the kind of core of his electorate right now. And it also says that his combative tone shows that he's ready to fight until the end. And the Parisien also mentions this letter that you were talking about, Une lettre au peuple français, the 34-page letter that's going to be printed in 6 million copies. Now, according to the Parisien, what it basically says is, elect me or there's going to be chaos. And it points out that it ends with the trademark, his trademark, I need you, help me. And there's a funny cartoon in Le Parisien, which we're going to pull up right now, because most polls say that Sarkozy would most likely lose a second round to François Hollande. And there you see Prime Minister François Fillon telling Sarkozy, you only have 2 weeks left to convince French people, and Sarkozy saying, why only 2 weeks? Do you think I'll be elected directly in the first round? So kind of very confident Sarkozy that's maybe oblivious to the polls that put him behind François Hollande.
Now, the left-leaning paper Libération also goes through his proposals with a fine tooth comb.
Absolutely, and their article is called mot pour mot, but it's a play on words because it's mot, so word, but also mot, M-A-U-X, which is an ache and pain. So Libération points out that just how conservative his program is, and it says that Sarkozy is basically surfing on the wave of fears right now in France, the crisis, the economic crisis, immigration, unemployment, and it says that Sarkozy is moving very, very far to the right. And the Libération also points out that Sarkozy is planning a popular rally in just over a week on April 22nd that's going to be held at Place de la Concorde here in Paris. But it's also the same day that François Hollande is planning a rally, and not very far away in Versailles, not Versailles, yeah, Château de Versailles. And basically, according to Libération, this is kind of a risky move for Sarkozy, because public rallies are kind of the domain of the socialists. That's where they're really good. And if both of them hold a rally on the same day, that's going to be open to comparison, and most likely the socialists are probably going to have the upper hand on that.
Comparisons, no doubt, chaos in the area. We're going to look now at the right-wing newspaper, Le Figaro, clearly more enthusiastic about Sarkozy's economic plans.
Yes, the Figaro is often a cheerleader for Sarkozy, and here they focus on really what he said in his speech. And according to Le Figaro, Sarkozy accused Hollande of denying the crisis. In their editorial, they said that it's called Sarkozy and Real Life, and basically they accuse Hollande of having his program be based on a rosy vision of the world, a dream. They say that Hollande is kind of in la-la land, whereas Sarkozy is, he reminds people of the harsh reality, and that is what his program is based on. And according to Le Figaro, he's willing to carry out the tough reforms that France needs.
Now, moving on to Libération, headlines on legal developments concerning the Erika, an oil tanker that sank off the west coast of France 12 years ago.
Absolutely, in 1999. Now, it caused an oil spill that was considered the greatest environmental disaster to hit the country. Now, initially, a French court ruled that Total, which owned the cargo, was partially liable for the spill, and the petrol company was fined several hundred thousand euros. But according to Libération, France's top appeals court, the Cour de Cassation, could actually clear Total. So that would be a major step backwards, according to Libération.
Florence Vimino with a look at the French press. Thanks very much indeed. Time now for a look at the headlines, 18 minutes past